coming out tonight to see The Plague. I did not come to see this screening for a very specific reason, because I saw this movie at Fantastic Fest this year when I was on the jury, and this was hands down the best movie, and I'm not going to be watching this again for a while. I'm sorry. This is one of those movies like Welcome to the Dollhouse or Kids that just, I'm sorry, for me personally, this scraped my nerves raw in the best way. And here's a little fun tip. It gets a release just in New York and LA on Christmas Eve this year. That's right. So if you've got family visiting that you don't want to talk to for the rest of your visit, take them on out to The Plague, and they'll be real quiet for the rest of the time. A nice Christmas Day movie for the whole family. Listen, this movie absolutely blew me away, and without any further ado, let us bring out the star of this movie, an absolute revelation, ladies and gentlemen, Everett Blunck. Everett. Everett. Is it working?
Yeah.
That's how you're doing. Everett lives in Montana.
Yeah.
That's it. Just wanted to say that. Thanks for coming. I just wanted to come out here and say that. We're done. All right. Everett, how did this... You started acting relatively early, like 8 or 9? Yeah?
Yeah, like 9.
Yeah, doing local theater. And then how did this script make its way to you? But first, yeah, how did this script make its way to you?
Well, I auditioned regularly, I just did a self-tape. I knew someone who knew either the casting director or producer or Charlie, someone who was involved, and they kind of told them about me, and I did my regular audition, and then I think they were like talking about it, and I think I got a call back from that, and I met Charlie, the director and the writer, on Zoom, and we went over it, and he kind of told me about Ben, and I got a better sense for it, and I think I did 3 auditions total, and my friend, my mutual friend, was kind of like keeping me updated, like telling me about it, and is it on?
I do that all the time.
Okay.
Is it still working?
Is it still working?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, and then I eventually they reached out and they told me that I got it, and I had a couple weeks before we shot that I left for Romania, because we shot in Bucharest, and yeah, it was a really fun experience. It was a really great audition. I did a lot of dialogue. It was a huge monologue scene where I'm screaming at Eli. That was my audition scene.
Over Zoom.
Over Zoom, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm lucky I wasn't in a hotel. There was one where I had to do it in a hotel, and it was like the same kind of vibe, and like I'm sure the neighbors were really
right. What if you had hit that app and turned your head into a kitten while you were
yeah, like the filters.
But it sounds like, from they sent over your bio materials. I hope you don't mind.
No.
Your PR people said, I know everything about you. I'm not going to be like James Lipton and quiz you on your life.
Yeah.
In the 5th grade, you won a kite competition. What was the shape of your kite? Do you remember?
I think it was it was a regular diamond.
It was a trapezoid.
Oh my God.
It was a trapezoid. Well, strange. All right. Anyway, it sounds like you have a fantastic close family, a lot of friends, and you had to really get into the head of a kid that is. It wasn't just that you're playing a kid that is isolated. You can see ways into the group. And sometimes you're making that, like, how did you get into that head? Where did you build the character up from?
What was super helpful was talking to Charlie, because this was like something he was working on for a really long time, so he had a really clear vision on what he wanted to do and who Ben was and where he wanted it to go. So like talking through that, and like if I had any questions or if anything was unclear, going to him and just kind of exchanging like thoughts and having him tell me what he was planning, and also like he recommended a couple movies for me that he was
Which
like.
ones?
There was the Full Metal Jacket.
Okay. Classic teen film.
Yeah, and then he was like 8th grade, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, 8th
Yeah.
grade's fantastic.
Yeah. So I went home and I like watched them and yeah, just mainly just kind of communicating with him and what he wanted and
Was this at all autobiographical for him? Were you channeling any of his experiences, do you think?
Yeah, I think, I mean, he had told me that some of this had happened to him, and it was like, some of it was personal, which made it easier for him. I think he, like, you know, being able to draw from your own experiences rather than like making stuff up on the spot.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think at least some of it was definitely from based on likely, at least from his own life.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then how long did you have to work with I want to ask about the ensemble because I know a lot of friends who have been in films. This is going to be a really weird comparison, but I'm going to make it.
Yeah.
I'm very good friends with Robert Carradine, who was the lead in Revenge of the Nerds. And when they were making the movie, the actors playing the nerds and the actors playing the jocks kind of separated from each other. Like
Yeah.
they got into that, and there were divisions even during filming.
Right.
So did any of that start to happen, or like, how deep did you guys get into? 'Cause, listen, the kid that plays the bully,
Yeah.
if he's anything like that in real life,
Yeah.
I'm gonna kick his teeth in if I see that. Again, I'm saying that again out of respect. That was an amazing portrayal, but my God, not since Telly in Kids have I wanted to Sorry, but like, how did you guys kind of square off?
I'll tell him
Let him know.
Yeah.
He least expects it. Ratatouille's gonna be behind me.
I will. Yeah. You know, it was really great. I mean, most of the kids stayed in the same hotel, and there was 2, but they were really close. So like we all would just go hang out in someone's room, like whenever after shooting or during the weekends, and like it was really fun. They had us do water polo practice for a week before we even shot, so we got to kind of know each other and like bond and like hang out a little bit before we even started going on camera. And yeah, I mean, you wouldn't like if you hadn't watched the film, you wouldn't be able to tell who was the bully, who was the victim.
Right.
Yeah, it was really fun. We were really close.
Was how committed was the director? Because this is one of those movies, like 8th Grade, and like there's a 70s film called Over the Edge, where they really found actors who act like teenagers. They didn't have that teenager channeling a 51-year-old screenwriter, you know, like just felt like were there moments, I don't want to say like improv, but there were such moments of real awkwardness that he clearly chose to keep on film. That like this is not the slick one-liner teenagers. This is that weird. I mean, how involved were you guys in let's do it the scene this way, keep it awkward, keep it real?
Yeah, I mean, we were definitely, I mean, Charlie was very open to having like us improvise, and he asked us like, does this feel right? Is this something you would do? Because that's very important, especially when like there's like awkwardness. It can't feel too forced because then it doesn't come out right.
Right.
So like, I mean, he was very good at writing it. Like it came off very natural for most of us, and like there wasn't a lot of times where I was like, I'm not really feeling this. He was very, very good at that. And like when I mean, there were times when I would ask him like, should we do it this way? Like, how are you thinking? And he was very open to like ideas or exchanging thoughts, and very communicative. Communicative.
I always get that.
I get that wrong too.
I get that word wrong too. Talky.
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 And so there was some improvisation in there too that really helped to get it flowing for me at least, and I'm sure the other kids as well.
What about the actor, and I'm blanking on his name, who played the plague? Like, did he isolate himself at all? Because I heard that Vincent D'Onofrio in Full Metal Jacket kind of didn't really interact with the other actors and kept that there was that kind of part of it, or were you able to just switch into that mode when you were doing the scenes? Like, what was that preparation like?
No, I mean we were pretty integrated, like especially outside of work. Like we all hung out, and I mean maybe like I think the extent of it was he would go in kind of by himself for like 15 minutes, or I would go in by myself, or whatever the scene was for like during rehearsal or whatever, and kind of get into that mindset. But like outside of that, we were, I mean, very close, and we were all kind of hanging out. There was no segregation or separation. But yeah, like, I mean, obviously, when we like actually started getting, you know, ready to shoot and get on set, getting into the character and the mindset. So maybe that included like staying away for like 15, 20 minutes.
Right.
But yeah.
Wow. And then how, because I had some weird PTSD flashbacks to 2003 watching this film. They really nailed 2003. A lot of the coolness and a lot of the awkwardness. Were you aware of any of that stuff, or were you kind of taking it on faith that people were saying, constantly quoting Dave Chappelle, which they were, and those specific songs, like those were the songs of the summer, like he just nailed it.
Yeah, no, they did. That was really impressive. Like even getting on set and like having the music and like the design, the set design, and the costumes and like the dialogue. I mean, like it was all very. You know, I mean, I wasn't alive yet, but looking back, I can see that, like, I'm sure that's how it was, and, you know, looking at the movies, and yeah, I mean, Charlie, I think it was intentional, and, like, he had talked to us about, like, some of the dialogue, like, how, Matt, like, don't, that kind of stuff.
Some of the scenes where you guys are just spitting catchphrases, it felt like you were watching a documentary. It really did, like in the best way.
Yeah.
And this also is one of those, and I don't want to put you in a weird spot, but this is one of those ensembles of just nothing but ringers. And it just feels like we are all watching a bunch of young actors. You can like see the career choices that are going to get made there. Everyone in this film is amazing. There's just no, and your performance, you're walking such a tightrope, and it's so amazing to get to see a protagonist who is capable of making terrible decisions and then having to live with it. That is so real, you know. So you're awesome. All right. Okay, hang on. I did have one other question. So. Your people also sent me, there's a movie called Griffin in Summer.
Yeah.
Now, has that already come out?
It did. It had its premiere at Tribeca in 2024, and then it's on, it's gonna come to Hulu soon, and it's on some streaming on Amazon, I think.
They made it seem like that was your next film, but did you do this one before the plague, or after?
Yeah, I did, but they came out at like the same time, roughly, just from how it was like edited and like distribution-wise, but yeah. But I did film it before, like a year before.
They sent me they didn't send me the whole movie for some reason, but they sent me all these scenes, and you're playing such an absolutely different character from where you're playing here. He is confident and focused, almost to a fault. He's one of those, again, and I'm saying this as a compliment, one of those precocious kids that you kind of want. Like you really lean into that. So was that a weird transition to go from, you know, you just absolutely embody both of these very different characters. Was there any whiplash involved in that, or just you prepared for each one, or?
I mean, so Griffin was like my first lead role, so I did like, I mean, there was like preparation going into that role too. You know, like kind of watching movies, talking with the director, like getting inspiration. But luckily, I had like a full year in between, so I like got to go back to school and like reset and like kind of, you know, get out of that mindset of like Griffin instead.
Right.
And then I mean, it was interesting playing like a completely, because he's very opposite of Ben.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and so it was interesting, but I think having like some time in the middle to reset myself was very helpful.
There's also one of those great movies that when that final scene happens and you realize this is where the movie is ending, you imagine what happens to Ben. Like you can imagine what the rest of his high school is going to look like. Right. He like whether he gets over this or not, he's gonna be haunted. This is like a formative moment, and he's gonna remember this for a long time. Yeah. And also, was it true that why am I blanking on the actor? Joel Edgerton. He came aboard to help get this movie made.
Yeah. From what I know, Charlie had sent a script either to him, and he was a producer on it. He was there to kind of help it get, to promote it and to get it made and to get it in front of people. And I think part of that was him accepting the role as Daddy Wags and
Daddy Wags
and yeah, being in it and doing whatever he could. He was very helpful, especially to Charlie throughout this film. So we're very appreciative of that.
Yeah, I met some other, I told some other producers that I know that I was doing this Q&A, and they were like, oh, The Plague. Charlie sent us that script, and we loved it, and we couldn't see a way that we could make it, but we knew somebody would.
Right.
And they're like, it's one of those things where it's actually better to not try to make it if you know you can't.
Right.
Let someone nail it, let it get out there that way. So this movie has a lot of love amongst all the film nerds out there. So
Wow. It's very crucial in that show.
Are you going to be, will you be home in Montana on Christmas Eve? Where are you going to be? Where
I'll hopefully be home in Montana.
Okay.
It's very, white Christmas there. We get a lot of snow. I feel very
beautiful.
Yeah. I haven't ever had like a Christmas without snow, like in LA or like Florida. I don't know, my grandma lives there, so.
Really? Maybe you bring a screener of this movie home with you. They'll be so happy. We are going to open this up to, eventually, by the way, this is a movie I'm going to see again. I eventually saw Kids again. I eventually saw Playground again, but I need a breather from this movie.
I understand. Well, I do too. I need a breather as well.
Good. We're going to open this up to some questions. Yes, right there.
Hi there. Great job. You were incredible in the film. Gave me anxiety and made me think of my horrible teenage years, so good job.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
So when you were reading the script and trying to get into the mindset of the character and everything like that, when you got to the final scene, what was your moment? Like, what did you latch onto to kind of create that sort of amazing sort of connection?
What was your way into that?
Yeah, I mean, for that last scene specifically, I obviously hadn't cut someone's finger off, so I was like, trying to, at first I was like trying to draw on like personal experiences maybe, and I couldn't really find one, so I just kind of, again, I talked to Charlie and I kind of tried just as best as I could imagine what it would be like if it was a personal experience, instead of trying to find one. I hope there wasn't one there for me. I think just putting myself in his shoes and really grounding myself in Ben and that was for that last scene. That was what I did and how I got in there, I think.
Any other? I can't quite see other. Yes, right there.
I did want to mention there was a lady who walked out just a second ago and she mumbled, I want to know why they mumble in the middle. So, everybody back here.
Not a big Robert Altman fan, I think.
You were absolutely incredible.
Thank you so much.
The performance that you guys all gave, I applaud it. The documentary quality, it's like, I was in 2003 and you guys did it. Did you have to unpack some of this experience afterwards? Because I'm going to have to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. For me, there's always a little bit of especially when you play someone for a long time and you're on set for 5 days a week, for multiple hours a day, you definitely kind of inherit some of their traits. So I think, and their feelings. So I think any amount of break or having a hobby that you do and kind of resetting yourself was very helpful. But yeah, there's always a little bit of lingering emotion, even from the day if you have an emotional scene, you go home very tired and kind of sad. So kind of taking that experience and having it follow me for a little bit. But yeah, I'd say it's just important to do something and to have something else that you do besides acting and besides being on film, that you can go and just have, it's a different person almost. It's a different personality, because that really helped me.
Yeah. Anyone else out there? And right there, and I'm with you. Right there.
Hi, great job. Was there any? Were you familiar with the editing process, and the music is really one of a kind? And I just want to know if you were involved in that editing process. Were there any reshoots and also any scenes that really?
Yeah. So as far as the deleted scene, there was a scene where Jake, I'm on the it was cut out of when I'm on Jake's bunk bed, and like he's talking to me about the plague. There's a cockroach that crawls across the floor, and I get really scared. And that's like that's like a question for Charlie about like the deleted scenes and what happened and why some didn't make it. But that was I think like the motive of why they did that in the first place, like putting cockroaches in the bed. So that was a deleted scene that I was looking for after, and I wasn't involved in the editing. I mean, they update me like when it's done, and I have ADR, so like dialogue recording. But yeah, the music, Johan Lennox, he was the composer, and he did such a great job, like just matching music to attitude and like emotion in this film. So yeah, and then reshoots, we had like a week in New York that we shot some scenes, and we did some scenes over, and we, I think, added 1 or 2 new scenes. So yeah, it was me, Charlie, Ko, who plays Jake, and then Kenny, who plays Eli. We were all in New York for a couple days shooting. Yeah.
The last scene where you're dancing, were you aware that would be the last scene of the movie?
Yeah.
So that was in the script?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Incredible last scene. Then there was a question right here.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that scene. Was
Oh.
that like something that the choreographer had gone through, or was that just all improv on your end?
Yeah, so I know Kenny had like a choreographed dance for his part, and like I did have there was a choreographer that I had, and that we were like doing, like she was telling me kind of some of the moves that he did, and we planned out a little bit, but I think it kind of just, there was like 100, I don't know, probably not 200, there was like 100 people there, like Romanian extras and a lot of people in the room, so like it was like hard, and we didn't have a lot of time, and so it kind of just morphed into more improv than choreography. So a lot of that was improv, and it wasn't consistent between takes for me at least. But yeah, it felt good, and then I wasn't as worried about getting the moves right as I was just like kind of going crazy and not thinking about if I'm doing it wrong.
Yeah, you were coming apart at the seams in that last shot. That was wow. And yes, right there. I'm gonna want you and then one more because we have 5 minutes left. So go ahead.
Hi, great
Hello.
job.
Thank you.
When you were shooting that scene, were you playing the song on set, or were you playing different music? And how did that work when you were shooting? Because you were so, in all of the scenes with the diegetic music, I feel like it was really a part of your performance.
That's a good question. Me and Kenny did have the song, luckily, on set, which was super helpful. They had like blasted on the speakers when it came out, and yeah. So that was that was really helpful for me in like I don't know, getting the beats and like the timing, even if it was improv, like the build up, like we both. I kind of like thought. I asked Charlie too. I was like, I don't know if he should stand there and just go like right into it and like be really crazy off the bat, or like if there's like some build up. And I think we landed on like a little bit of like swaying, and then like he kind of gets it all crazy. But yeah, there was music, so that was really an advantage for me.
And then if there's any, I'm gonna go right there with you. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I was gonna ask, what was it like shooting the film in Romania? Was it kind of strange, since the movie set in America?
Yeah.
You have to kind of like adjust to like, I know there's probably a lot of production design stuff, but
Yeah.
shed some light on that.
You never slipped in the accent, did you?
No, there's some words. I
You
correct
did?
them now, but
It is hard to be American teenager.
yeah, no. It was fun. It was interesting. I hadn't filmed anything outside of America at that point, so like going and being there, like the cast would all hang out kind of like downtown in this area called Old Town Romania or Bucharest, and like explore the shops, and yeah, like going to the castles and like the nature side of it outside of Bucharest was really cool, and yeah, like we ate Romanian food, we did Romanian stuff, we were very touristy, but yeah, I thought it was really fun. It was an interesting place, and I learned a lot about it there.
So may see him again in Plague 2. Dracula. It's going to be amazing. Very exciting. Everett, honestly, I think to speak for everyone here, I cannot wait to see what you do next year. And this whole cast was extraordinary. Christmas Eve with the family.
Yeah!
See the play. All right.
It's not Christmas without depression.
Thanks, guys.